So we have no attendees yet?
Nope, no attendees yet.
Ian, what happens when you log in?
It says hasn't started yet. It's 6:01.
Does it say a time it's supposed to start? No.
It's supposed to start at 6.
It says it's at 6 o'clock on the website.
and Flemings Road Preliminary Design Study Community Meeting. We will begin shortly. Mr.Phyars will join us.
Good afternoon, good evening, and can you hear me now? Okay. Good evening, and thank you for attending this Orange County 545 meeting at Flemings. First, I'd like to go over some background on the Horizons West area, and then we'll go through the presentation. Horizons West was the first sector plan approved in the state of Florida and formally adopted by the county in 1995. It includes nearly 23,000 acres of former citrus groves, predominantly abandoned after devastating freezes in the 1980s. The loss of agriculture was created an incentive to institute master planning for the area's urbanization over time. Horizon West includes five mixed-use villages and a town center. The villages are surrounded by green belts and include their own town centers. The road improvement described tonight is a private-public partnership through an executive roadway agreement between Orange County and the consortium of Horizon West Village I landowners. We are currently in the preliminary design study phase. Following this design phase, will be managed by the Orange County Public Works Engineering Division. The construction will commence following acquisition of right-of-way for widening the roads. Orange County and our partners are working closely with Lake County to coordinate both the road concept plan and the Flemings Road connection to Sawgrass Boulevard. The road agreement requires construction on Flemings Road to begin no later than July 1st, 2025. This is this evening's agenda. We will start with the introductions and the meeting logistics, followed by an overview of the project, existing conditions, discussion of preferred alternative, public engagement, and schedule, and then an opportunity for you to provide us with your feedback through our survey and public comment. This project is in District 1. Commissioner Nicole Wilson is the commissioner of District 1. At this time, we'll ask if there's any elected officials they can indicate their presence in the chat box. Staff on this project includes Blanche Hardy as the project manager. I'm Ian.Phyars, the transportation planner on this project. And we also have Richard Boblitz from Polius and Bennett, which is our consultant, along with other county staff and consultant staff. At this point, we'll go over the meeting logistics. And Blanche will do that.
Good evening. This is Blanche Hardy. All attendees have been placed in listen-only mode during the presentation. If you're experiencing technical difficulties, and we do understand that some people have, we will repeat this meeting in person in the future. This meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be posted on the project website. Comments and questions can be placed in the question box on the right-hand side of your screen. If you don't see the question box, click on the chat button, and it should open. Questions will be answered at the conclusion of the presentation. The moderator will read the questions, and our team of panelists will answer. This meeting will last approximately 1 hour. Next slide, please, Ian. If you have called into the meeting, You will not be able to enter comments into the question box. However, there are two methods for you to ask questions and provide comments after the meeting. You can call or email the project contacts, which appear in this presentation, are available on the county's project website, and are included in the newsletter that you received. We also ask that you complete the survey included on the project website. The link to the survey appears on the right-hand side of the slide and is included in the newsletter. Thank you. We'll take it back to Ian.
Thanks, Blanche. The purpose of this study is to identify preferred improvement, document project needs, and balance the safety, mobility, and comfort for all users. Consideration is given to all modes of transportation, including automobiles, pedestrians, cyclists, freight, and transit. The study process starts with data collection. Once this is complete, a preferred alternative is developed and we move to public engagement, which we are doing this evening, and then on to the recommended improvements. The following slides will provide an overview of the existing conditions along the project. Items listed on the screen will be addressed. Let's move on to existing road geometry. Currently, Avalon Road and Flemings Road are two-lane undivided roadways which are considered hilly. Dedicated turn lanes are provided at major intersections and current posted speed limit is generally 45 miles per hour within the project limits. Traffic lights are located at Flemings Road and Lake Star Road. Land uses along the project is planned to be developed primarily as single-family homes and a commercial or village center near the Flemings Road intersection. There is one existing school, Water Springs Elementary, and 3 future school sites indicated for the area, 2 elementary and 1 middle school. Moving on to existing drainage. This project is located within the Reedy Creek drainage basin, with runoff following generally west to east. The roadway runoff is currently collected and treated in roadside swales before ultimately flowing into the basins identified on the next slide. This study also recommends replacing the existing and extending the existing box culvert and adding a 24-foot pipe alongside to function as a wildlife crossing to provide animals a safe and dry way to cross once the road is widened. There are 11 drainage basins within this project, as seen on the screen. The water flows generally from west to east across Avalon Road. Ponds will provide treatment and attenuation for Avalon Road and some adjacent properties. Environmental analysis was conducted on the project site to determine the location of wetlands. 7 wetland areas are located in the study area, shown here in green. Continuing with environmental analysis, no protective species were observed, but despite that habitat was or may still be present for the species shown, habitat may have been diminished over time as the result of human land uses, and no occurrences of listed species is expected. The project was reviewed also for cultural resources, and no historic buildings or archaeological sites were identified. Moving on to traffic. The traffic volumes along Avalon Road range from 12,000 to 14,000 average daily trips. This results in a level of service C throughout the project. The design year for this project is 2047. The traffic is projected to increase to 36,000 average daily trips for Avalon Road and 33,000 average daily trips for Flemings Road. With that scenario, if Avalon Road and Flemings Road are not widened to 4 lanes, both these roadways and all intersections will fail in the design year. Therefore, Avalon Road and Flemings Road needs to be widened to provide the needed capacity. Another will be looked at 5-year crash data was collected and analyzed along the corridor. There were a total of 60 crashes within the 5-year time period, resulting in 1 fatality and 23 injured crashes. Most of these crashes were rear end and occurred at intersections as shown on the graphic. No bicycle or pedestrian crashes were reported. The proposed improvements to Avalon Road will enhance safety and reduce crashes along the corridor. This is the typical section of Avalon Road, what it will look like in the future. The proposed design for Avalon Road provides 2 12-foot travel lanes in each direction, separated by a 22-foot raised median for safety and room to turn for turn lanes in the future development. It also provides pedestrian access to a 6-foot sidewalk on one side and a 10-foot multipurpose trail on the opposite side, including lighting on both sides of the road. Fleming's typical section proposed design provides 2 11-foot travel lanes in each direction, separated by a 20-foot raised median for safety and room for turn lanes into future developments. It provides on-street parking along both sides of Flemings Road to accommodate for the future town center area. This too has a 6-foot sidewalk on one side and a 10-foot multipurpose trail on the other opposite side, and also includes lighting for pedestrian safety. Intersection improvements proposed to Avalon Road and Flemings Road. These intersections include traffic signals, turn lanes, dual left turn and in all directions, right turn lanes in all directions, crosswalks, and pedestrian signals. Near Water Springs Boulevard, we have a proposed Millbrook crossing. This will help ease the movement of pedestrians coming from the residential area on the east side to get to the school on the west end, and Water Springs Boulevard and vice versa. Now let's talk about stormwater ponds. Currently, there are 5 existing ponds shown in orange on the slide. This study proposed utilizing the existing ponds along with proposed ponds shown in blue to provide the stormwater treatment needs created by the roadway improvements. The 5 ponds shown in blue have an alternate pond site shown in yellow. Access management is a carefully planned for the location type and design. And access includes medians and median openings. Controlling access results in fewer conflict points, which improves safety, as illustrated in the slide below. The study updates the corridor for future development while allowing adequate access points and meeting access management criteria in order to reduce crash incidents along the corridor. This preliminary design study reviewed and analyzed several different improvements to Avalon Road in order to make the corridor safer and prepare for the influx of traffic expected for the area with the proposed future development. 3 widening alternatives used the same 4-lane divided typical section. The alternatives included no build, which is leaving the road as is, widening to the west, widening along the center, and widening to the east. The matrix shows the overall cost of all alternatives that were considered. Highlighted in blue, you can see that the preferred alternative for Avalon Road and Flemings Road has the least cost, which accounts for the design, right-of-way acquisition, and roadway construction. Public engagement is a very important part of this project, and your opinions and thoughts help formulate the best solutions. We utilize newsletters, project websites, meetings such as this one, group and individual meetings as requested. Public hearings will also be held before the local planning agency and the Board of County Commissioners. This project began in January of 2020 and is expected to be completed by spring of 2022. Shown here is the contact information for the county project manager and the consultant project manager, Richard Bobitz, along with website address. This presentation has been recorded and will be made available on the website. Before we begin the question and answer session, we ask that we have to remind you that to please complete the short survey on the project. A link to the survey is provided on the project webpage. We will use the feedback we receive to refine preferred alternatives moving forward. Again, this presentation has been recorded and will be available on the project webpage. We'll now move on to the question and answers session. If there are any questions.
We have 2 questions so far.
Okay.
Question 1, was this project supposed to be completed in January 2026? Why is there now a 2025 start date?
So to answer that question, the completion date has not changed. It's still, it needs to be by January 1st, 2026 to make the connection. However, we do need to start the project ahead of that, and that's the 2025 date that Ian mentioned. So there's a start no later date, and then there's a finish no later date as well.
Okay, question number 2, is there going to be a traffic light at Water Spring?
Richard, you want to take that one?
Sure. The answer is we're not planning a traffic light there now. It wasn't warranted in the traffic study that we did. So
Okay.
that was it. Question number 2, question 3. Number 3, why is the current Fleming's construction only reflecting 2 lanes and not 4?
So there is an interim improvement on Flemings Road, which needed to be installed in order to accommodate additional lots that were approved on the Orange County side. That's basically to handle the additional traffic that would be placed on that road. That road is currently not designed to handle that volume of traffic, but the county did allow additional units to be constructed, so that road had to be improved to accommodate that. Essentially, that's developer road. The developers funded that roadway. That will have to be reconstructed when the full 4-lane section is constructed.
Question number 4, will electric poles on Fleming's be rerouted underground?
There's not a proposal at this point to underground any of the overhead electric.
Question number 5, when will the Fleming's Avalon traffic light include a turn signal?
I don't know the answer to that question. Hang on just a second.
Brian, I believe that signal is a temporary signal strain pole, and it'll be replaced by a mast arm in the future, and all the heads will be adjusted at that point.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I just spoke to the county engineer. She said she agrees with you, Renzo, that the turn signals will be included with the final configuration when the roadways are widened.
Question number 6, will both Encore and Ovation entrances have traffic lights?
I'm gonna let you take that one too, Richard.
Okay. We are not planning, their traffic signals are not planned right now at those entrances. There are signals at what we're calling the Village Center Connector, which is an intersection further to the east, and then at County Road 545 and Flemings. Those are the only two intersections right now that are planned to have signals. Question 7, there is clearing taking place right now. Are we in design phase or a construction phase for this project?
For this project, we're still in the study phase. Any kind of clearing that's happening now is related to development approvals, and that includes the temporary road that I mentioned earlier.
Question 8, will there be leveling of the hill at Avalon Flemings?
I'm going to let you take that.
Yes, there is a prominent hill there and it will be flattened. So we have a sufficient site distance to meet all the design criteria. So the answer to that is yes, that hill will be flattened. Question 9, why was the Lake County side done before Orange County? Was there any coordination on it?
Okay, so Orange County and Lake County have people wanting to develop their land independent of each other. Developers in Lake County chose to develop their properties ahead of the developers in Orange County. So a huge PD was approved, that basically extended from the Orange Lake County line all the way over to 27. And with that approval, Lake County was able to get the developers to at least extend a 2-lane all the way to the county line. We had not even been approached by the Orange County developers when those approvals in Lake County happened. So we were behind in the development scenario that unfolded out there between Lake County and Orange County. So we now have a schedule for the completion and the connection, and we're working towards that.
Question number 10, has anyone had a chance to look at the traffic pattern at Water Spring since the school opened?
So go ahead, Richard. We did an initial traffic analysis, which included traffic from the school. That factored into the overall analysis of the traffic and the recommendations for lanes and access management. We anticipate that the scenario that we've set up for access management and the number of travel lanes, turn lanes, will be adequate for that. Orange County continuously evaluates these sort of issues. So once this roadway is constructed, the counties will continue to evaluate. We're very optimistic that these are the right improvements, but there's always tweaking that happens after these are constructed.
Question 11, what is the earliest potential date the connecting road will be completed?
Well, we're working as diligent as we can, even though we've had some setbacks in getting these public meetings out to the public. We're still working to make that happen. And so after this meeting tonight, we will schedule another makeup public meeting. It'll, in all likelihood, it will be in person. A little frustrated with technology. And following that meeting, we will prepare the completion of this study by going to the Board of County Commissioners in the local planning agency for hearings. Once that is done, design will then take place. It takes a year or so for the design to be completed. During that time, we'll be receiving donations of right-of-way from the participating owners, the developers, as well as acquiring any right-of-way that is not represented by developers, which there are some. We're also working with Reedy Creek and Walt Disney. So there'll be a right-of-way phase and then ultimately a construction phase. So it will be tight up to the 2026 timeframe, I'm pretty sure.
And I think that leads into the next question. Can you talk us through what happens between now and 2025?
Oh,
3
well,
years sounds
yeah.
like a long time.
Well, it does sound like a long time. However, these are multi-million-dollar projects, and there's a lot of technical information that needs to be designed into these facilities. There's a number of reviews that have to be done for the design. It does take time to acquire the necessary right-of-way. Not everyone just gives up their property freely when we come and ask for it. So there's purchases and acquisitions. There's dedication of right-of-way from the participating owners, as I mentioned, and construction. We're going to have to maintain traffic on these roadways, and to do that, the contractor works on one side of the road, then everyone shifts to the other side. So it's everyone should understand that lives out there the construction that's going on and the time it takes to construct that. And because we have to maintain traffic, it's usually a year, 2 year construction time frame.
Question 13. Will there be a physical form of traffic slowing incorporated in the design to allow safe entry and exiting from the communities on Flemings?
Well, yes. So that intersection will be formally signalized. Right now, there's an interim traffic signal. There'll be signal timings and phasing of that signal. Sight distance will be improved with the flattening of the Flemings Hill. So we'll make sure that the developments have the right sight distance as they come in, so people exiting and entering 545 will be able to see. There'll be medians separating the travel lane, the different directions of travel. So safety is a huge part of what is built into the design of these projects.
Question 14. What is the plan for the Lake Star Road now that there is a signal but no road?
I'll let you pick that one up.
Okay. Well, there's a signal at Lake Star Road, which is a temporary signal for that future. What they're constructing now is Lake Star Road for that intersection. So there will be a new piece of Lake Star Road that goes to that intersection, which will not be there once we do the 4-lane divided for County Road 545. And like I said, that signal is temporary. Question 15. I'm confused on the clearing. It is happening from Flemings to New Hartzog, adjacent to Avalon, the width of another 2-lane road. Are you saying this is developer related? I can answer that some,
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah.
That is utility related work.
Right. So utilities need to feed the development. Developments need to have water, wastewater connections. So if it's adjacent to the road, and that's likely that type of clearing. Yeah.
Question 16, probably not the right time to ask, but during construction, will there be a second means of egress for the residents of Encore that is not Fleming's?
Richard, go ahead and pick that one up.
That is, there's only one access road into the Encore Ovation, and that's Fleming's. But during the construction, the design will make it so that access is maintained. So like Brian was saying before, traffic will be on one side on whatever pavement there while construction is happening on the other side. And then traffic will flip to what was just built so they can build the other side. But all of the access will be maintained during construction.
Right. Yeah. And they take the off-peak times of the day. They may close one way into a driveway and work on that, and have flagmen there to get people in and out during the slower parts of the day. But during the mornings and the evenings, they wouldn't do that. They would leave those open. So there will have to be construction on the driveways across these road projects, but they stage it and try to make it as tenable as possible.
Question 17, will the Encore at Ovation entrances be able to cross over Flemings and go in either direction? Or at the completion, must they turn toward Avalon only?
Go ahead.
So like during construction, access will be maintained that is the same as what is there currently. So you'll still have your 2-lane roadway during construction, and you'll be able to go in either direction. So that's the idea of the MOT, maintenance of traffic during construction, is to maintain existing access and number of lanes. Like Brian was saying, there may be times when traffic is low that it'll be one lane and they'll have flaggers there. But most of the time you'll have a lane in each direction or something similar to what is there now. Question 18, can any kind of temporary connection from Sawgrass Bay Boulevard be made to Flemings Road, even if it is emergency vehicle only, local traffic only?
So temporary connection. At this time, no, because the remaining portion of Fleming's that is not being upgraded at this time will still be a very I won't say poor road, but cannot have a lot of traffic on it. I'm not sure what kind of access would be needed there, and how you would control that access. I mean, you can't have a gate that only the fire rescue has a key to. I mean, I'm not sure how that would work, but it's not anticipated to be connected until the full 4-lane road is there and connected to Sawgrass Bay Boulevard.
Question 19, who can we contact to have a study done now for Water Spring? During drop off and pickup, it could take 20 minutes to make a left-hand turn from Water Spring to Avalon.
That's a good comment, and we will provide that comment to our traffic engineering division, who evaluates the operation of roads that are already built. So we will take that and pass that along to our traffic engineering so that they can investigate that issue.
Question 20, is there any plans to make the lake connection earlier than the full completion of Avalon? The traffic on Avalon turning onto 192 is getting out of control. Most afternoons is now backed up from 192 to near Western Way.
Right. It is a very circuitous route for folks in Lake County to go all the way down to 192, then come all the way up 545. But at this time, I've laid out the schedule. There's really no way to design and construct a road any sooner than that time frame. We're going as quickly as possible, and we have a schedule that we're operating on right now.
Question 21, we're asking about safety for Encore at Ovation and other Flemings residents. How are we to enter exit with no traffic light at the entrances and traffic streaming at 45 miles per hour each way?
So we're not planning to have a 45-mile-an-hour road. Is that correct? It is correct. That is correct.
Yes.
So you have a couple of 35.
It's a design speed 40, posted 35, yes.
Right, 35 miles an hour. And you have multiple entrances and exits to that residential area. And we do have median openings staged, appropriately spaced, so that motorists can, go either east or west. And we're making sure that the sight distance is appropriate. We won't be planting to where trees in the median where you can't see oncoming cars. So there will be plenty of opportunities for access. The signal at 545 will create platoons of vehicles with brakes between. That's designed so that you'll have the ability to make those left turns, and right turns usually aren't an issue.
Question 22, are you all monitoring the amount of traffic that is backed up from 192 to Western Way, then down Western? It's horrible because there's no way to get around.
We're aware of the circuitous route and the travel demand that's out there today. Again, we're working as quickly as possible to make that connection happen. I'm sure it's going to be a very popular route, a popular shortcut once it's constructed. However, that's where we're at today.
Question 23, can any kind of temporary connection from Sawgrass Bay Boulevard be made to Flemings Road, even if it is emergency vehicle only, traffic only? I think we've already had that question.
We've already had that question. We'll take it back to our leadership to see if there's a way. I mean, safety is the highest priority. So we'll have to get back to everybody on that.
Okay. Question 24. I appreciate you revisiting this question. At completion, will Encore residents be able to exit the community and turn either toward Highway 27 or Avalon?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. I appreciate you revisiting this question. At completion, will Encore residents be able to exit the community and turn either toward Highway 27 or Avalon?
Yes. Yes, there will be median access that will allow left turns out.
And that was the last question.
Okay, well, those are some really good questions. A lot of Lake County focused questions, which we expected and we appreciate. I do have to apologize for this second rerun of this meeting that did not go off as planned. We had yet another technical issue that foiled us. However, we will endeavor to meet again to present this project just the way it was presented tonight to the audience that it was intended to. But I really appreciate all the participation on the Facebook site. Keep an eye out for more flyers to come out and updates to our webpage announcing the next meeting, which because of newspaper advertising and other time frames needed, it'll be a couple of weeks before we can get back out to the public. So I really appreciate everyone hanging in there with us, even through all these challenges that we have. But it's really not slowing down the production of the documentation of the project. It's just sliding the public involvement a little further towards the end of this study project. So with that, I thank you all once again, and until we meet again. Blanche, do
Brian,
you have additional closings?
Just to let everyone know, we have attempted, even though we've had a bunch of technical difficulties, so I don't want to promise, but we have attempted to record this meeting. And if the application has allowed the recording to be made, we will post that on the website. So those people that were not able to get on Facebook will hopefully be able to at least see the presentation before we can get out there in person to provide it. That's all I have. Thank you, Brian.
That's it. Thank you, Brian and Blanche. With that, this concludes the meeting for Avalon Road, Flemings Road. Contact information is on the screen, and look forward to meeting with you guys another time. Thanks to everybody, and good night.